Hey all, welcome to my channel. This is Jayashree here. I'm going to launch a series of videos where we will be building conversational AI bots. First, let's just understand what conversational AI bots are. Conversational AI bots are far different from traditional chatbots. There are numerous reasons for it. I've listed few of them. First is they understand human language variants. Let me give an example here. Let's say I want to rent a car. I call a travel agent and I say, hey, I want to rent a car from Mumbai. You might completely say it in a different way. You might say, could you please help me rent a car from Mumbai? Some other person might say, I found your number on X website and can you help me rent a car? One thing we need to note here, all of us were trying to do the same thing, right? We were trying to book a car, but each one of us was using a completely different variant altogether, correct? So this is where conversational AI bots comes into picture. They can understand our human language variants. Not just that, they can also ask follow-up questions to you if designed in that way. So take the similar example here. You mentioned that you want to rent a car, but you haven't specified from where do you want to rent it. Your conversational AI bot can ask you a follow-up question. Could you please help me with the pickup location? That's great, right? Let's come to the third point. Switching conversational flow. This is the most important. Now we are talking about with a bot how to rent a car. Suddenly, I also want to ask about is there any car insurance given? And all of a sudden I say, hey, do you provide a car insurance? Your conversational AI bot can understand that this is a completely different request from the conversation what we are having right now. It still understands it correctly and helps you with the right answer. That is how conversational AI bots can also understand the switch that a user is making. Throughout this series, we will be building a voice bot for car rental program using Dialogflow and Node.js. Let me give you, let me tell you what Dialogflow is. Dialogflow is a product launched by Google. With the help of it, you can build voice bot, chat bot, you can build any bot and integrate it with different platforms or different channels we say. Google Dialogflow has the best NLU capabilities. Not just that, Google Dialogflow has two different versions. It was having ES and now it has recently released Dialogflow CX. Throughout my series, we'll be building VoiceBot using Dialogflow CX. As now we have understood what conversational AI bots are, let's just list down what are the basic building blocks of any chatbot development process. So, whenever you start building a bot, this is the information that you start gathering. First thing is you need to identify the intents that will be part of this bot. Second is identify the entities that you need to capture. Third is conversation design, how the conversation would go. And the fourth is webhook integration, connecting it with the client fulfillments or your databases to validate the information that has been captured. As I mentioned earlier, this tutorial is specifically designed for beginners. In this video, we'll be only covering the first two and that too at a very basic level. Once we know the major building blocks, then we will move on to the advanced level of each of these underlying elements. Let's take a moment. As I mentioned that we'll be building a voice bot for car rental program. Now let's think about what information we will have to capture from user to book a car. First thing is we need to know the pickup and drop off location of the customer. Second thing is we need to know the date and time of it. Third thing we need to also know is what type of car he is preferring. Do they want an ordinary car or a luxury car? How many people are traveling, right? Because as per that, you will suggest the cars accordingly. Then once all this information is captured, we will tell them what type of cars we have, and then an user would make a choice. We'll confirm all the information that has been given by user. Once information is confirmed, as I mentioned, we will be building a voice bot for car rental program. Let's first think about what information do we have to capture from user for this car rental program. I have listed already few of them for you. First is we need to know pickup and drop off location, right? Then we also need to know what is the date and time we want to pick and drop. Third is we want to know what type of car they are preferring. Do they want an ordinary car or a luxury car? And also the number of people traveling. Based on all this information, we are going to suggest them a car. Once the car options are listed to a user can make a choice and say, hey, I want to go with this car. We will confirm all the information from the user. Once he gives us a go ahead, we will ask him to make a payment and the car is booked. Okay. This is the process flow that we will be building for our voice bot in this series. One thing which I want to highlight here is just by listing these questions, we have already identified the intents that's gonna be part of our voice bot. Isn't it that simple? You just need to know what type of questions you are going to ask your customers, and that becomes your intent. So think intent as a customer intention. So here when I said that I want to book a cab, it was my intention to tell a bot that, hey, I'm looking to book a cab. Let's say if I say pick me up from Mumbai, this is also my intention to tell bot that my pickup location is Mumbai. So intents are nothing but customer intentions. Let's go and start building our first voice bot. As I mentioned, this video is for beginners and I'm gonna keep it very simple for today. In my upcoming videos, we'll move on step by step to more details or more advanced settings of voice bot or chatbot for the Dialogflow CX. This is the link where you can go and access the Dialogflow CX. Now, let's do one thing. I'm going to my project over here and I already have created this agent previously. I'm gonna delete this and let's create a new agent again. I am naming this agent as rent cab. This is an important setting that is provided by in Dialogflow CX. We'll cover this in our upcoming videos. This is you can use it for the analytics purpose. Now let's first go and save this agent. Okay. As you can see, once you create this agent is displayed on your listing dashboard. I'm gonna go on this agent. Don't worry about the parameters or the settings that you can see on the extreme left hand side. As I mentioned in my upcoming videos, we are definitely gonna work on it. I've gone to the manage tab over here. As you can see on the left hand side, there is intents, entity types, webhooks. You remember, as I mentioned earlier, these are the most important building blocks of our chatbot development process. Also now we are on the intent screen. You can see there are already two inbuilt intents given by Dialogflow CX. The first intent is welcome intent. Let's go to welcome intent and see what all it has. So the first thing you see is basically the name that we need to give for this intent, where it is named as default welcome intent. Don't worry about the keywords. Description is just you give a description for it. Training phrases. Training phrases is the most important another building block of a chatbot development process. If you'll see the training phrases by which your bot knows what a user is trying to say. So when I say that I want to book a cab, it Dialogflow, what it does is it tries to match the most relevant training phrase for what I have said and accordingly triggers a corresponding intent. Let's go and create a new intent. I'm creating an intent called as request cap. Okay, and I'm going to write training phrases here as I'm looking to rent a car from Mumbai. Okay, one thing to observe over here is as soon as I entered this phrase, Mumbai was captured something called as sys geocity. You remember something called as entity types, which we discussed previously? Google Dialogflow itself has a large collection of system inbuilt entities like date, units, okay, currency, first name, last name. So I will just show one example to you. If you'll see the name Jayashree, as soon as I typed, it gets captured as sys person. This is again a system entity given by Dialogflow CX. We'll be covering all this in detail. Right now, this training phrase is not relevant for our intent, so I'm gonna remove it. Let's go and save this intent. Entities are nothing but a huge collection of same resource types, you can say. For example, GeoCity, now Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, all these are the same type of entities, okay, which comes as a city. So even if I type over here, I am looking to rent a car from Chennai, it will also capture this as this GeoCity. As you can see, the newly created intent is also displayed on the intent list dashboard. At any point, you can go and edit this intent wherever you want. Okay, I'm adding one more phrase. Could you help me book a cab from? Oops, I did a mistake. Let's correct it. It gave me option that it should be tagged as GeoCity. So what I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna tag it as GeoCity here and I'm gonna save this intent. That's it for today. Thank you for watching my video.